The Realtor Association of Keaty and Lafayette, Louisiana has revamped some of its forms and to be more user-friendly for buyers and sellers this year. I'm Jim Keaty with Keaty Real Estate, and I'm going to highlight some of the pivotal changes and will be giving you my interpretation of what this all means. But always remember to consult with your broker for their details and their interpretation. Today's focus is going to be on the contingency addendum to the purchase agreement. This addendum is used when a buyer needs to sell their property before buying another property. So there are now two distinct options. Option A would only be selected if the buyer's property is already under contract, and there would be no right of first refusal. This means that as long as that buyer's property is under contract and on track to close on the specified closing date, then there would be no option for the right of first refusal for the sellers. This means that the home should be placed in pending status on the MLS, not contingent continue to show. However, if the home falls out of contract during the process, the buyer must notify the seller immediately, and that contract could become null and void. But in real life, you would probably ask for an addendum and change the contract using this same form and change it to option B. Now, what is option B? Option B is if the buyer's house isn't under contract. This is where most of the contingencies lie. Here, the house might be currently listed, or it'll be listed on the MLS by a specified date. Now, option B, the sellers do retain the right to advertise the property as contingent continue to show, and they can offer the buyers a certain period of time or a window if they receive another offer to remove that contingency, or they can cancel the contract and receive their deposit back. For listing agents who are under contract with a contingency and they receive a new offer, I want to share a pro tip. I know this can be kind of confusing what you do. I would suggest negotiating the offer into a backup position using a backup offer addendum. This way, it's going to ensure that you have a solid contract in place before you approach the initial buyer with a decision to remove their contingency or cancel the contract within that specified time. Our office policy here at Keaty Real Estate is within 72 hours. As always, you need to check with your broker on their policies and interpretations of this document. But on a side note, this is not a mandatory document. You or your office has the right to use any contingency form out there or create their own. So be careful and be sure that you're not assuming anything, and always read and make sure that you understand all of the terms exactly how they're stated on the form that is presented to you before your client sign anything. I personally believe that these changes to these forms are from the forms committee are very insightful and very practical. I like this specific change, but I want to hear your thoughts. If you have a different interpretation, or if you want to provide some feedback, please drop a comment below. Let's discuss it, and I appreciate you tuning in. Good luck.